You have any questions?
Um, Could you do a problem for us?
Okay, yeah.
Could you do x plus 1 cubed
X plus 1 cube
minus 64y cubed?
minus 64 y cube,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so do you still remember how we were doing? Okay, so this is like,
Like number 2, right?
yeah, so this one is like x minus 1. And then is x minus x plus 1 Oh, okay. So do we still remember how it was cube, how we were solving for the cube? When we have a cube minus b cube, what was this?
Equals a minus b.
A
A minus
minus b,
b
and then a
squared
square plus b
ab.
ab plus b square, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like this.
Yeah.
So this is a, and this one is what?
B.
So you need to write this one in terms of cube.
Mhm.
So this is 64, which is the same as 4, 4 cube, right? So basically, this is like x minus 1 cube minus 4y cube. So here, this one is b, and this one is a. So this is a, and this is b. So x plus 1 cube minus 4y cube equals to
X plus 1 squared.
equals to so it will be just x plus 1,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
And then b is minus 4y, right? So this is a, and this one is what?
B.
And then brackets. A is what? X plus 1 square plus ab, x plus 1, and then 4y, and then finally plus b square is 4y square.
Mhm.
Okay? Then you do what? You now simplify. So when you open these brackets, then it will be x plus 1 minus 4y, and then this one. So when you open these brackets, it will be what? X squared plus 2x plus 1. This is for this.
Mhm.
Plus, when you open these brackets, then it will be 4xy plus what?
4y.
4y. And then finally, this one is what? Plus 16y squared. 16y squared. Then you close that bracket. So finally, this is equals to x, let's say x minus 4y plus 1. This is this one. And then we can take x squared so this is x, this is this, that is x here. So we can take the values of x together, okay? So x plus 2x plus 4xy, and then plus 16y squared plus 4y plus what? Plus 1. You can leave it like this because you don't have to waste your time, because this is basically the answer, so you can just leave it like this.
Yeah, that's what K Newton wants, is that one.
Oh, this one was in your homework?
Yeah, but it wants it in that form, doesn't want it like,
Which form? It just wants,
just like that, so you have it.
just this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you just leave it like this, and then you're good. So, do you have any questions with your homework? Are you all getting everything?
I have one, but I don't have it with me.
Okay.
But it was along the same format. I just got the last bit wrong.
Oh, okay. So if you have any question, you can just write a mail or you can text. All right, so any other question? Travis, do you have any question?
No, I don't have any questions. Sorry, I'm making coffee. I have to run back over.
All right, so let's come to section 6.4. And this is factoring polynomials. Factoring polynomials. So I don't know whether you guys can see this. So how can we factor the polynomials? So I think I had explained to you most of the things here. Yeah. So use a general strategy for factoring polynomials. So the first one is you do what? You look for the GCM, greatest common factor. And then you do what? You factor it out. So you make sure you factor that one out. Next one is the polynomial, binomial, trinomial, or are there more than 3 terms? Are there more than 3 terms? So the first one, if it is a polynomial, is it a sum of squares? Like the one which you had, that one was the one, the cube. Yeah. So is it a sum of squares? If the sum of squares do not factor, if it is a sum, it doesn't work. If it is a square, it doesn't factor if it's a sum. You remember that?
if it's positive.
So if it is positive, just leave it like that. You just do what? Just look for the greatest common factor, and then you factor it out. Now, if it is a cube, we have the what? We have the formulas, like what we had. So we had the patterns that we were using. So if it was a cube, I think we had some pattern that we were using. So what was the pattern? So let's start from the squares. So binomial. So if it is a polynomial, then if it is, let's say, a squared plus b squared, then it doesn't what? Doesn't factor. Further. What do? You just look for the GCF, greatest common factor. If it is a square plus, sorry, if it is a minus b square, then you can do what? You can factor this. And the factor is a minus b, a plus b. After you have done what?
GCF.
Gotten the GCF. If there is no GCF, then you can just go directly to factor. Now, if it is a cube, so this is a square. So if it is a cube, so we have the patterns that we were using. If we have a square plus b square, sorry, cube, a cube plus b cube. So what was the pattern for this?
A minus B.
A minus b. Was it a minus b?
No.
So what was the pattern for the cube?
A plus B.
A plus b, right?
Yeah.
And then the one which is minus is a square minus ab plus b square. If it is a cube minus b cube, then it is a minus b. And then the others would be what? Positive, right? So a square plus ab plus what? B square. So those are the patterns. So the first thing is you do what? You look for the GCF. After getting the GCF, if it is a positive, then you just leave it like that. If it is a negative, then you factor it like this. If it is a cubic, then first you get the GCF, then you do what? You use the patterns for the cube. Okay, so you see the difference? So this is what we were doing. Factor is a product of conjugates, is the difference of cube patterns, like that. Now, if it is a trinomial, is it of the form x squared plus bx plus c? You still remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, if the coefficient of x squared is 1 here, and do the FOIL. Is it of the form ax squared plus bx plus c? Basically, what I usually do is I usually use the AC method for both of them, because I know a here is 1, and then c here is a constant which you're given. A here is always 1, and then b here is 1. So before this, you need to do what? First of all, you get the what? You check whether there is greatest common factor. So everything starts from step number 1. Step number 1. So step number 2 is after you do step number 1. If all these are there. Now, if A and C are squares, check if it fits the trinomial square patterns. Use the trial and error, or use the AC method. So I usually use that. We are usually using the AC method. So if you want to use the trial and error, it's up to you. but basically the best one, which is the easiest one, is the AC method. Now, if it has more than 3 terms, you remember the one which had 4. So the one which had 4, we do what? We group. So we group them. So you can group using the group method. So when you group, that is when you factor out. So step number 2 is after you do step number 1. And then the last step there is check. Is it factored completely? Is it factored completely? Then you remember how we were factoring, and then we do what? We multiply. Confirm whether that one is the correct answer. So after doing all those, then that one is factoring. That is factoring the polynomials. So a polynomial is of the form. So a polynomial is, so when we talk of the polynomial, most of the time we usually write a polynomial as, let's say, p of x equals to maybe a n x, not even a n, so maybe a n here, x n plus a n minus 1, x n minus 1 plus, but don't let this one bother you so much. This is what we do. This is my section, so you don't have to worry about this. So if so, a polynomial of this form. So the highest power of that polynomial is where there is x raised to something which is the highest of all these. So we call that one the order of polynomial. The order of polynomial. So in our case, the order of polynomial here is what? N. So the order is n. So actually, if you have, let's say, ax squared plus bx plus c, this is a polynomial. Yeah. So this is a polynomial of order what? Order 2. The highest power of x there is 2. So this is still a polynomial. But most of the time we call this one what? Quadratic expression. So we call this, if we call this one quadratic expression. But now if we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals to, let's say, 0, then it becomes what? Quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. If we don't have the equal sign, just like this one, without the equal sign, then we call it quadratic expression. If it has the equal sign, we call it quadratic equation. So this is still a polynomial. It is a polynomial, but that polynomial is a polynomial of order 2. Polynomial of order 2. If it is, let's say, ax raised to 4 plus ax raised to 3 plus, let's say, bx raised to 3 plus cx raised to 2 plus x plus, let's say, e. Yeah. Then this is a polynomial of order what? Of order 4, because the highest power there is 4. So it is a polynomial of order 4. So that is polynomial. Now let's come back to our business here. Now, let's come to example number 1. Example 1. Factorize completely. Factorize completely 15 PQ minus 15P plus 12Q minus 12. So factorize completely 15PQ minus 15P plus 12Q minus 12. So as you can see, these are more than 3 factors, right? So we use the step number 2, the last section, right? It was grouping, right? So before that, what do you do?
Take out 3.
So we need to get use the step number 1, get the what? GCF. So what is the GCF then?
3.
3.
So 3. So we factor out 3 and then 5PQ minus 5P plus 4Q minus 4. And then we do what? We now group them. So we now group these, and then we also group that one. So 3 still remains outside. So when we group these one, so what is common here?
5P.
So 5P. So and then we have Q minus what?
4.
And then plus, what is common here? 4. Q minus 1. Three still remains outside. What is common in the 2 of them?
Q minus 1.
Q minus 1. And then what? 5P plus 4. 5P plus 4. So this is step number 1, step number 2. And then if you want to confirm, then you can multiply. But if you're very sure of what you're doing, then you can just stop there.
Can you scroll the sheet up a little bit?
Okay.
Thank
that?
you. Thank you.
Example number 2. Factorize completely 7b squared plus 7b minus 42. Factorize completely 7b squared plus 7b. So step number 1, get the what? GCF. And the GCF there is what? 7. So 7, and then b squared plus what? B minus 6. Now we come to step number 2. So this is a what? This is a trinomial. So this is a trinomial. Now we can use the AC method. So A is 1, and then C is what? -6, right? So we look for two numbers in which the product equals to -6 and the sum equals to 1. The sum equals to 1. So what are the two numbers?
3.
So 3 and -2, right? 3 and -2. So 7 still remains outside. So b squared plus 3b minus 2b minus 6. So 7 is still outside. So we factor out what? B. So we now group this one and what? That. So so b, and then we have b plus 3 minus 2. So this side will do what? Will change, right? So there is b plus what? 3 plus 3 plus 3. So 7 is still outside, and then we factor out the greatest common factor, which is b plus what? 3. What remains is this and this, b minus 2. B minus 2. So hope you guys are not making these things very simple for you. Because when it comes to exam, I don't know, it might be difficult. Eh? So make sure you're getting everything. I don't want you to be seeing them to be so simple. But the best thing to do is when you organize your work like this, you just go step by step. At the end of it, you will get the correct answer there. So it will be so easy.
Is there going to be a test next week? Correct. Or this midterm, is there going to be a test? Or no?
I think that I think I'll use the past test as your midterm.
Oh,
As your midterm score.
no.
Because the midterm is next week, right?
Yeah.
And your second test is on 15th or something.
Is it?
Okay, next month. I think so.
No.
Yeah, we can.
Can you go back up? Can you go back up to the question? Oh. Okay. Just one minute.
Let me confirm.
I wrote it down. You don't have to get to test.
Yeah, we follow the schedule that we give them. So if you go against the schedule, then you lag behind.
And the schedule says no more tests the rest of the semester, right? We're just done, right? With tests.
Yeah, let me share this one. You guys, you don't like tests, right?
I'm good at this quizzes.
Um, So your second test is on, is still very far. It's not showing. Travis, do you see that one?
Yeah, I see it.
So your second test. Yeah. So your second test is um, on Monday of, I think it's 14 or 15. Yeah, 15. So this is your second test. And the midterm week is what? Next week? Where are we?
Yeah, it's next week's, yeah, the first to the fifth.
So this is our midterm week, right?
Yes.
Yep. We still have this week.
It's 2 weeks out.
Yeah. So basically, I'll use your exam one as your midterm score.
Okay.
So hopefully, you guys, you will not get a fail. So do you use your midterm exam for midterm score for your scholarship or something like that?
I was just curious, so I could start studying if it was next week.
Yeah, you need to study always.
So you're gonna just re-put in our score? from
Yeah,
test
so
one?
basically I'll just put the score. Maybe I'll use your quizzes, I'll add the quizzes and everything there.
You should like round in our whole.
Yeah, and then-
percents, you know? Give us all an A.
Okay, so, I don't know whether.
Is there always only like 3 people in the classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very.
Wow.
You want to make it 4? I mean,
You want to come to class?
it's kind of fun in here.
I should. It's just I'm usually at work at this time. They just give me the hour to do math.
Oh, okay.
One against tests.
So do you see my screen now? Or
I cannot. I see the classroom. Everybody looks like they're having a blast.
It's like the government, we can't see you, but you can see us.
Okay, now I can see your screen.
The lights went off.
yeah, so you're the only one who is not always here.
Oh, that's the camera?
Yeah, that's the comment.
Oh.
All right, so
Phases.
so I will use your quiz and your homeworks in your midterm score.
We'll use our first two. then.
Yeah, so I will use that one. If I use your exam, most of you will get a letter from where? From the scholarship or something like that. Because I think they usually check your score or what. They do, right? You're getting some grants, something like that.
If it's failing, right?
Yeah, because they will warn you. They will tell you, hey, we saw your score. You had like a fail.
It had to be below a C, though, right?
Yeah, if you get a below C.
Because you have to have like a C to pass the class.
Yeah, you need to get a C to pass the class.
Yeah.
So if you get below C, then it will not be good.
Yes.
Okay, let's continue. Hey, man, we are going slowly, huh? We finished that one, so if you have another one here. So if you have y raised to 6 minus 1, then you're told to factorize that one completely. Factorize it. So how should you factorize that completely? So actually, this is like y raised to 3 square. minus what? 1 maybe squared. Okay? So y raised to 3 square, and then. So step number 1, there is no GCF. Okay? So there is no GCF. So step number 2, now you can manipulate that. Now, looking at this, then it becomes a difference of what? Squares. So when it becomes a difference of squares, then it will now be y cubed minus 1, y cubed plus 1. Y cubed minus 1, y cubed plus 1. Now, the two of them are what?
Difference cubes.
Yeah, so these are cubes. So there is some for the sum, and then there is for the subtraction there. So using the patterns, so what was the pattern for the minus? So the pattern for the minus, we wrote it somewhere here.
Is A minus.
So the pattern for the minus is a minus a cube minus b cube equals to a minus b, and then we have a square plus ab plus b square, and then for a cube plus b cube equals to a plus b, a square minus ab plus b square. Now here, the first one is a minus. So y cubed minus 1 is similar to what? So it is similar to what? Y minus 1, right? And then y square plus y plus what? 1. The one for y cubed plus 1 is equals to y plus 1 y square minus y plus y. Okay? Oh, sorry.
Well, is it plus? Yeah, never mind.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, so finally you combine. So it will be y minus 1, y square plus y plus 1, y plus 1, and then y square minus y plus 1. Like that. If I wanted to do something else, but this one was simplified completely, then I could have combined this one and this. But I don't want to, because it says factorize completely. So you just leave it like this. Okay, so the time is moving so fast, and we have section 6.5, but section 6.5 is just we come to section 6.5a, 6.5a. So this is polynomial equation. Polynomial equation. Basically, this is like now putting the equal sign on the polynomial expression. So we just put the equal sign there. I already explained to you most of the things of that. So do we still remember the zero product property? You still remember that?
Zero product property.
Yeah, we did it, right? Like a few weeks ago.
I'm sure.
Isn't that just tacking a 0 on at the end?
Yes. So, like, let's say the one which is solved. Let's say example number 1. Okay. And before we Go to example number 1. Yeah, let's say example number 1. Or we can say A, let's say A multiplied by B equals to 0. You still remember this? So we were saying A is equals to 0 or B is equals to what? 0. So that is zero product property. Now, like example number 1, what did we? So let's say this one was example number 1, right? 7b squared plus 7b. Let's say this one was equals to 0. So that is, oh, sorry. So that is polynomial equation. So that's it, the equation now. So you do all these steps down there.
So would you wouldn't have to factor that now, would you?
Yeah, you need to factor it. So you use the steps that we've just written, all these steps here, to factor this one. So you need to make sure the other side is equals to 0. So you make sure this other side is equals to 0. And then now you start factoring this, using all these steps. When you read the last one, this one will be equals to what? 0. The last one is equals to 0. Now, using the zero product property here, actually, the 7 will just be cancelled there. So you will just remain with b plus 3, b minus 2 equals to what? 0. Now, using the zero product property, then b plus 3 equals to 0, or b minus 2 equals to 0.
How does the 7 cancel out though?
Because you divide both sides by 7.
By 7.
So 0 over 7 is 0.
0.
So finally, b equals to minus 3, or b equals to 2. So that is the solution of our equation. That is the solution of our equation. So same thing with this one, but this one is more complicated. So if you equate this one will give you a lot of problems when it comes to this. So this you need to use another method to get. Actually, you get a value of y. So the value of y would be either equals to 1 or minus 1. So y equals to plus or minus 1. Because if you just slot in 1 here, so 1, 1, it will not work. So y squared plus y plus 1 equals to 0. So when you put minus 1 here, so it will be 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1, which is not equals to 0. So you need to also get the value of y here. You also need to get the value of y here using a different method, which you can even use your calculator to get the value of y here. So when you see the power as raised to something like this one raised to 6, so there are 6 values of y. So 6 of them. If you see y raised to 3, then there are 3 values of y. If you see y squared, then there are 2 values of y. Okay? So there are 2, 3 like that. So here we'll have 6. So we really have 1, 2. Then we can get 2 of them here, and then we get 2 of them here. So it adds to 6. Adds to 6. 2 minutes. I don't see any issue here because basically it's the same thing. Okay, let's do the last one here. If we have 8y plus 5 square equals to 0. 8y plus 5 square equals to 0. Okay. So what do you do here?
Don't you just go 8y plus 5?
So actually, what you do here is you just do the what? Get the square root of this and the square root of this.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get the square root of this, and then you get the square root of that. So when you get the square root of here, then it will be 8y plus 5. And the square root of 0 is what?
0.
So y will be equals to minus what?
5.
5 over 8 minus 5 over 8. Or you can say, because this is square, then you can say 8y plus 5, 8y plus 5 equals to what?
0.
Equals to 0. Using the zero product property, so 8y plus 5 equals to 0, 8y plus 5 equals to 0. They are similar, right?
The same thing, yeah.
So our answer is what? Y equals to
-5.
negative 5 over 8. Negative 5 over 8. All right, guys, see you on Friday. I think on Friday we'll clear chapter 6. And then I'll give you a quiz. So the quiz, I think it will be much longer than the ones which we have been doing. So you can get more than
Much longer.
5 questions.
Bring it.
Okay, so see you on Friday.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.